Young pin boys crouch behind bowling lanes in 1914, waiting to reset pins by hand before automatic machines replaced their dangerous work. Madonna, Sting, and Tupac Shakur share a lighthearted moment at a party in the 1990s, capturing an unlikely convergence of pop, rock, and hip-hop icons. The rare photograph shows three music legends from different genres enjoying an intimate social gathering before Tupac's tragic death in 1996. Segregated water fountains labeled white and colored starkly illustrate Jim Crow-era racial inequality in the American South. An African-American man drinks from the deteriorated colored fountain, while the pristine white fountain stands empty, capturing the harsh reality of state-enforced segregation. Two girls create a clever, headless horseman illusion in a 1920 photograph, with one hiding her head through a garden table while her body remains visible. This playful optical trick demonstrates early amateur photography creativity and shows how children entertain themselves with visual pranks long before digital editing. Two beauty pageant winners pose with their trophies in 1922, wearing modest bathing suits and sporting natural, athletic figures that sharply contrast with modern beauty standards. The photograph captures an era when beauty competitions valued health and natural proportions over today's heavily stylized ideals. A couple enjoys a thrilling cable slide ride at a 1923 carnival, capturing a romantic moment on one of the era's popular fairground attractions. This vintage amusement showcases early 20th century entertainment before modern roller coasters and thrill rides dominated carnivals. Surrealist artist Salvador Dalí lights a cigarette for fashion icon Coco Chanel during a 1938 encounter between two creative titans. The intimate photograph captures a rare moment of connection between the eccentric painter and the revolutionary designer, who both defined their respective fields in the 20th century. A teenage Paul McCartney takes a mirror self-portrait with a twin-lens reflex camera in 1959, years before the Beatles' rise to global fame. This rare early selfie shows the future music legend experimenting with photography at age 17, decades before smartphone cameras made self-portraits ubiquitous. Two suffragettes hold a Votes for Women sign in 1911, fighting for women's right to vote during the height of the suffrage movement. These early feminists risked arrest and social condemnation to demand political equality, nearly a decade before American women secured voting rights in 1920. Pink Floyd poses playfully in 1967 during the psychedelic rock era, with Syd Barrett at the forefront during his final year as the band's creative leader. This candid shot captures the legendary British band at the peak of their early experimental phase, shortly before Barrett's departure, due to mental health struggles, would transform the group's direction forever. A baby sits in a wire cage suspended outside an apartment window in 1937 England, as a mother watches from inside. These controversial baby cages were marketed to urban parents lacking outdoor space, promising fresh air for infants in cramped city apartments despite obvious safety concerns. Two young women hitchhike along a roadside in the 1970s, wearing colorful, striped and pastel outfits typical of the era's carefree fashion. This snapshot captures the spirit of freedom and adventure that defined 1970s youth culture, when hitchhiking was a common and socially accepted way to travel. Anthony Hopkins poses with his daughter Abigail at a red carpet event in 1991. During the same year, he won his Oscar for The Silence of the Lambs. This rare photograph captures a tender family moment with the legendary actor who has been famously private about his personal life and maintained a complicated relationship with his only child. Adolf Hitler and Benito Mussolini shake hands at a train station during their final meeting in Germany, 1944, as the Axis powers faced imminent defeat. Within months, both dictators would meet their tragic ends. Mussolini, executed by Italian partisans in April 1945, and Hitler by suicide shortly after. Belka, one of the legendary Soviet space dogs, sits inside her pressurized capsule immediately after safely returning from orbit in August 1960. Belka and her companion Strelka became the first animals to survive a journey into space and return alive, paving the way for Yuri Gagarin's historic human spaceflight less than a year later. A vintage Coca-Cola syrup jug from the early 20th century displays the classic, delicious, and refreshing branding in an ornate label design. These ceramic dispensers were used in soda fountains to mix Coca-Cola syrup with carbonated water, representing the beverage's original distribution method before modern bottling became widespread. Iraqi leader Saddam Hussein and Cuban President Fidel Castro engage in conversation during a diplomatic meeting in the 1970s. This photograph captures a rare encounter between two controversial authoritarian figures who both position themselves as anti-Western voices during the Cold War era. Two models wear avant-garde plunging swimsuits designed by Russian fashion designer Alexander Ovchinnikov in 1995. These daring, minimalist designs with dramatic vertical stripes exemplify the bold experimental fashion that emerged in post-Soviet Russia during the mid-1990s. A fearless construction worker rides a crane hook high above New York City during the Empire State Building construction in 1930, with the Chrysler Building visible in the misty background. This death-defying photograph captures the extraordinary risks taken by ironworkers during the skyscraper boom, when safety regulations were virtually non-existent and workers performed stunts hundreds of feet in the air. Women compete in a hands-free pie-eating contest on a beach in 1937, racing to finish their desserts using only their mouths. This lighthearted snapshot captures a popular Depression-era carnival game that provided simple entertainment during difficult economic times.